This is Hoodies. Alright, this thing on. Testing. 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2. Alright, let's do this. Word. Welcome back to another dope session of Hoodies the Podcast. I'm the host, the God Rashidi, coming at you live from the Skill Suite. Or maybe not so live, but we coming at you, man. But let's put one in the air for Hoodies the Podcast. Word, let's get right on into this thing, man. I got no RIPs to give out right now today. Good thing, right? However, I'm sure somebody has transitioned. So my condolences go out to anybody who's lost a loved one. You know what I'm saying? My heart goes out to you. Sorry for your loss. My condolences, man. And also, happy born day to anybody with a birthday today. Whether you've been here a while or you're fresh out the womb. Salute to you. New life, more life. You know what I'm saying? Celebrate, man. Celebrate. You know what I mean? This is the day you were born, fam. The day you were born. You know what I'm saying? The world is blessed by you. Dead ass. So like I said, I got no RIPs. So listen, man. Before, this ain't gonna be a long intro. I don't have a lot to say for the intro. Other than the fact that, listen, man. Look, be grateful. Because sometimes, even without even knowing it, we end up comparing ourselves to other people. Wondering how come we're not as far along as they are. Or how come things aren't clicking for me like it is for them. You know, that's their lives, man. That's their lives. They ain't worried about what you got going on. Worry about you. Because, listen, be grateful because there's somebody with less than what you got. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at it from that perspective, there's somebody who's worse off than you. Who wish they had it like you got it right now. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at it like that, makes you pretty grateful because it could be worse. It could be worse. You know what I'm saying? You still making it happen, right? You haven't given up, right? All right then. So then, hey, it is what it is. You know? Stop comparing yourself to other people. Be grateful for where you're at because it could be worse. And just because you're grateful, you know, to be where you are doesn't mean that you're going to stay there. It just means that it could be worse, right? You still trying to move. You still trying to improve, right? All right. So be happy right where you right where you're supposed to be right now. Because there's somebody who's got less than you. And that's probably where they need to be. And they'll work their way up if they're putting in the work. You understand? Just be grateful. That's all I need to put out there for the intro. Along with that, I hope everybody's good. I hope everybody's well. I send you all some good energy, some warm energy. I wish you all abundance, all those good things. Everybody, man. Everybody watching this, whether you rock with me or not. I wish everybody abundance. I wish everybody the best, man. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not well, I hope you get well. Because what other choice do you have? What are our choices here? We either make it or we make it. Think what I'm saying? So, let's go ahead and stop playing games, man. Let's stop playing games. Let's go ahead and get into this. All right? All right. Let's go. Yeah. All right, so check it, man. So, by the way, I did get flagged for the last episode. I did get flagged for the media, the content that I used in it. But I knew I would. I'm just glad they didn't completely block me like what happened when I shared some Disney content from First Take or whatever. So it got flagged. So it's all good. Dope episode though. But anyway, so I don't have no media like that this time. But I do. I got something though. Something that caught my eye. In fact, it didn't just catch my eye. It caught my eye a while back. And I've been wanting to, I suppose, do some content with it. Just didn't necessarily know where to go with it. And if I'm being honest, I still don't necessarily know where to go. But we're going to go ahead and make this happen. All right? We're going to make this happen. Off the cuff. So check it out. This is what I bumped into a while back scrolling through X. And I was intrigued by it. Check it. Nobody is thinking about you. Nobody was ever thinking about you anyhow. They aren't. They weren't. They never were. People are mostly thinking about themselves. People don't have time to worry about what you're doing or how well you're doing it because they're all caught up in their own dramas. So, not the heaviest piece, but then again it is. So both things can be true. On one hand, I agree with everything that's there. You know, the average Joe Schmo that don't know you, don't know me, don't know any of us, don't give a damn about what everybody else got going on. Because they're all caught up in their own dramas. You know what I mean? In fact, some people would say that that's part of the recipe for happiness. Trying to cook up some happiness, that's probably part of the recipe in that big bowl of ingredients that composes happiness. To not involve yourself in other people's dramas or be worried about other people's shit, that's probably, you know, some of the ingredients in there. That's probably good practice because you can't take on everybody's struggle. You know, everybody know that. You know what I mean? A lot of times you're inviting chaos to your doorstep, involving yourself in other people's struggles. Got to choose wisely when it comes to that, right? Unless, of course, it's a person whose struggle is the same as yours. Then in that case, it's not necessarily a struggle. That's more of a comrade. Y'all are in that thing together. So you're not taking on theirs. You're kind of working together or working together to figure some shit out. You understand what I'm saying? But so part of being happy is, you know, happy people ain't worried about what everybody else got going on. You know what I'm saying? So sure, nobody is thinking about you, but then somebody is. So this is where I would like to challenge that. I think that's where I was conflicted at. This is where I would like to challenge because somebody cares. You know? Come out the womb, your mother cares. Of course she cares. Right? Mother cares for you deeply, would kill for you. You know? But damn, here's where that picture tends to ring true again. Because yeah, my Dukes loves you. My Dukes fucks with you heavy. You her kid. You're her kid. You came out the womb. Pop Dukes love you. You're his seed. But I ain't never met some parents, a mother or father, that said, I hope my son or daughter stays an infant. I hope they never grow up. You know what I'm saying? I never heard a mom say, I hope my son stays on the nipple. No, at some point, she wants him to get off. I never met a parent who said, I don't want my kids to start eating solid foods. So at some point, they're going to want you to grow some teeth and start eating some fucking food. Right? I don't know any parents that's not, you know, a bit relieved that now Junior is old enough to take the trash out now. You know what I'm saying? I don't think moms or pops for that matter is feeling some type of way because, you know, I'm trying to think of a girl's name. And the first thing came to mind was Shaniqua. All right, so let's go with that. I don't think moms or pops going to feel no type of way because Shaniqua learned how to do her own hair. You know what I'm saying? That's one less thing my dudes got to do. I don't think there's a parent out there that says, nah, I don't want my kids to learn how to drive. I don't want them to eventually graduate high school, go off to college, and then go off get their own place and everything. You know what I'm saying? At some point, sure, mama's going to always care. I ain't going to say at some point. She will always care, but at some point, mom will still always care. But mom, see, parents want you to progress and do these things for yourself eventually because they want to be involved in their own dramas. So sure, ma cares, pop cares, but at some point they want you to grow the fuck up, get the fuck on, so that they can become a little bit more concerned with their dramas. It's not like they aren't already involved in their own dramas. You see it, parents be arguing, and that's why a lot of people walking around with trauma now. So it still is true, but then it's not. To say that nobody's thinking about you, somebody's thinking about you. You know what I'm saying? Fellas, even your lady friend, even your woman, your wife or whatever. Sure, your woman may be in tune with you. You know what I'm saying? She may be in tune with you. She may be able to finish your sentences. She knows your appetite, your diet. Ain't nobody talking greasy about you around her. You know what I mean? Or talking funky about you. You know, when around her when you're not around. You know what I'm saying? And if they do, she's listening carefully. So she can come back and let you know, babe, don't trust that nigga. Don't trust him. I don't know what your relationship like is with them, but this is how they talking. It's that one right there. She could be all those things. But keep in mind, hey, it ain't even just the woman. It's I mean, ladies, this goes for you too, you know, with your man. And by the way, I'm always saying this, right? I ain't no relationship guru, no relationship coach, but listen, I always say that, but I ain't gonna downplay myself either. I've been around for a while. I've been in various relationships, and nah, they weren't necessarily successful. However, I still learned a lot of things, a lot of shit. Hey, I learned what not to do. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. So I'm not gonna sit up here and undermine my own self. I'm gonna stop doing that. But what I was in my bag and saying is, even our significant others. Listen, ladies, your dude can be super. Your dude can have a certain aura when he's around you that makes you feel extremely safe. You know what I'm saying? As soon as he comes around, you can let go of the tenseness in your shoulders because you feel safe. When all he did was walk in the room. He's a good man. He could be all those things. But just like that woman can be good to that man, people are still I'm gonna say obligated to still cultivate a relationship with themselves. So while I disagree with nobody's thinking about you, nobody's thinking about you all the time. How about we put it like that? Because even the person laying next to us in the bed ain't always thinking about us. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, they got a responsibility to cultivate a relationship with themselves. You know? And listen, we ain't even, we haven't even tapped into whether or not, our significant other has a particular deity that they believe in. Then they'll feel as though they'll feel obligated to cultivate a relationship with their deity of choice. Even if you are your own deity or whatever. You obligated to cultivate that relationship with yourself. With your God self, if you will. So somebody's thinking about us, just not all the time. Because people are wrapped up in their own dramas. They ain't got time to think about what you're doing, how you're doing it, and how good you're doing it. You know? Now I say total strangers, of course, don't give a shit about what you're doing. But see, again, a total stranger can be a hater. It could be something as simple as, now mind you, they don't even know you. But there could be something you have, an ability, money, yeah. There's something you have, something about your aura. Maybe they had to bust their ass to get to where they are. And here you are, you're there too, but you didn't have to work as hard. You know what I'm saying? Where they had to bust their ass to get whatever it is they got, be it a position or whatever, that came natural to you. They don't know you. If you're able to do what they can do and it comes natural for you, a total stranger will hate that. They will hate you for that. You're a threat to them. Because if you got to where they got, with not as much effort, you could surpass them. Because if that came easy, there's no telling what else does. And for that right there, I hate you. I'm hating on you. I got something against you. Happens with athletes. Happens with everybody. It happens with everybody. Happens within your own family. So, sure, that total stranger sure, they are caught up in their own drama because they feel threatened by you. Sure. What I'm also trying to say is they're also thinking about you too. They don't know you. They're also thinking about you. Something you possess naturally. They got to bust their ass to achieve whatever it is they're doing. It comes natural for you or some people. So nobody's thinking about you all the time. Nobody's thinking about us all the time. But both things are true. Right? Right? Some good water. People, for the most part, are caught up in their own dramas to give too much of a fuck about what you're doing. Is there such thing as good drama? Some people just caught up in. Some people just simply happy, off living their own happy life. Ain't got time to be taking on your shit. You can't take on everybody's plight. You know what I'm saying? You got to choose them wisely. Choose them real wisely. Word. Nobody's thinking about you all the time. People only care so much. Even our parents, our significant others, our friends. People care. Like, I'll oftentimes say, I don't care. But I do. Just not enough to get all up in people's business. Just not enough to take on your problems. Just not enough. Yeah, man. Y'all get it. I think y'all get it. I think I'm beating a dead horse now. Word. Wow. I don't really have too much more, at least at this juncture, to say about brother Shannon Sharpe. My sentiments are still the same. His situation is not ideal. You know what I mean? 56-year-old with a 20-year-old. I still feel like they weren't involved like that. I still think it was mostly sexual with them two. Apparently, Shannon Sharpe's got a thing for young white women. You know what I mean? Yeah, she was 20, and I believe they met when she was 19. So that's a huge age gap. And I still feel like if he's guilty of anything, is having sex with a 19-year-old white girl. I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? I'm 50, And I don't think I could anything less than 35. You know what I mean? I digress on that though. My point is, so now other women have spoken out. Some from the past, like don't get me wrong, there aren't new complaints like, other women saying, yo, he did. Well, yes, they're saying he did that to me too, but it's in past tense. So supposedly before he went to ESPN, he was with FS1, and there was an incident there to where supposedly he had choked someone. I don't know if it was a woman. He choked a woman, something like that. It was settled out of court. I forget how much. And but I don't believe that was sexual though. I'm not sure. However, there was another woman who came out, and I'm not sure about the races of these women. And the reason why I'm not tripping off, the fact that he's rocking with white women and he's a brother is because, see, athletes and entertainers and people like that, like that, I don't look to them. Listen, unless a brother or sister comes out and claims to be pro-black and shit like that, or claims to be someone who's black woman, black man, and then you do that, then okay, yeah, that's questionable. Anything outside of that, unless they claim to be cut from that type of cloth, I don't expect it from them. And we're talking about an ex-athlete. Are you surprised? You know what I'm saying? I digress on that too. So what was I getting ready to say? Oh yes, there was a woman who I want to say was actually involved with him, maybe, but says that she sued him for stalking and some other stuff. Now I don't know how true any of these things are. I'm just saying that it don't look good. It does not look good for brother Shannon-Sharpe. And all this talk about him saying that he'll be back during the preseason of the NFL, I'd have to see it. I would have to see that. And I played the recording last episode, and you can listen to the recording and clearly hear that she's setting them up. She's definitely setting them up for the okie doke. Brother Shannon. You thought that young lady liked you, fam. You thought she liked you for you. You seem to have gotten real comfortable by listening. You seem to have gotten real comfortable with her. But I will say this, at least you were smart enough to keep those text messages, because imagine how it would look if you didn't. You see what I'm saying? Because of those text messages that you kept, those receipts, if you will, because of that, now everybody can see that it was clearly consensual. And while most people are, because that was weird. While most people are feeling some type of way because of the big age gap, I'm not so much. I'm not so much. People, especially folk with some coin, and then we're talking, what is he, from Alabama, something like that? Southern brother, football player, brolic as hell. There is a thing that a lot of brothers, particularly darker brothers, okay? I'm not talking out the side of my neck. I'm not just talking. I've talked to people, period. You know what I'm saying? I've listened to people, especially, like, say, for example, I've talked to a ton of fair-skinned women, and a lot of them prefer, not all, but a lot of them prefer to be with a dark-skinned brother, or a brown or dark-skinned brother, not another light-skinned dude, because they don't want their kids to come out so bright. I've heard them say this. I've heard some fair-skinned folks say that, like a fair-skinned sister say that she don't feel comfortable getting no fair-skinned dude because she feels like she's dating her brother. Weird, right? And then I've seen but had conversations with darker folk, right? Both brothers and sisters. And some of them don't want to get with another dark person because they don't want their kids to come out dark. And I'm assuming maybe that's come from a not so good experience, being a person with darker skin. I don't know. Some people do have a complex. I've seen fair-skinned people with a complex. Not too many. It tends to be really with our darker brothers and sisters who tend to have some not so good experiences, even with their own kind, because they're darker skin. But yes, I have heard darker skinned black folks say that they'd rather get with someone who's a little lighter because they don't want their kids to come out dark. And like I said, I think it could be because of what they went through. And then there's some dark skinned folk who are straight up comfortable in their own skin. You know what I mean? And that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. Almost went down the rabbit. In fact, I did go down that rabbit hole. Bringing it back. Right? So yeah, I'm not surprised. And this is not Shannon Sharpe's first snow bunny. This is not his first pink toe. He's got a thing for them. I think his daughters are black. Don't quote me on it, but I think they are. And mind you, this young lady, Gabriella Zuniga, she's younger than his daughters. But people with coin, people just have some weird fetishes. And look, some men just prefer younger women. I get why. A lot of older men will get with a younger woman because they feel as though a younger woman is less bitter. Less bitter meaning she's got less. There's less of a chance of her having bad experiences with men. So I've heard. And listen, a younger woman, just like a younger man, imagine there are some older women who like younger men. A younger man's got way more energy. The testosterone is higher. Now there are things us older men can do to boost our testosterone, things we could take, even foods even, right? But a younger man, his skin is tighter. You know what I'm saying? He's got fresh legs. You know what I mean? He could probably go 4-5 rounds in the bedroom. You know what I mean? It just may be what that older woman wants. By him being younger, that younger man may be a little bit more adventurous and open to do more things. Whereas an older man, it's not really my cup. But older men typically know what they want and what they don't want, know what they like and what they don't like. So some of that shit, an older man might not necessarily be with. So an older woman will get with a younger man. An older man will prefer a younger woman. I mean, since we're talking about things are tighter with a young man, things are tighter with a young woman. The tits are perkier, and so on and so forth. And then, of course, the baggage thing. There's probably less of a chance, not always, but less of a chance that there's baggage there because she's younger. But being 56 and going at the 19-year-old, that's extreme. That's fucking extreme. Shannon Sharpe just got real comfortable. Unc, he ended up in some unfamiliar waters. Unc was very unfamiliar because it sounded very obvious this young lady on the phone was recording him. And he didn't seem to pick up on that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, sure, I said the things he said in that recording is probably role playing. But if I'm keeping it funky, it could be. Don't get me wrong, it could be, but I ain't gonna front. That shit sounded like he wanted to choke shit out of her. For whatever it was, he was pissed off about, or she supposedly did, or whatever. It's just part of a clip. It's just part of a recording. We didn't hear the whole thing. But Unc traveled in some unfamiliar waters. He got bit. He got bit by a serpent. The serpent. And listen, man, I suppose that's a cautionary tale. Now I see why these big, these CEOs and not the CEOs, but these Fortune 500 companies and things like that, a lot of them prefer their employees to be married or in a serious relationship. You understand? Because when you are at a big age, like 50, 55, 56, 60, something like that, and you're not married or you're single or whatever. Now, I suppose that doesn't count if say you're a widow, if your husband or wife or significant other has passed away. That's one thing. But to be like single, or not locked in with somebody, a lot of them won't even deal with you. I've had a couple clients. This one guy, well, he hadn't been here in a while. It's been a little while. He did move, but he was telling me, I had a client who was going to partner with some bigger company to go with his and whatever, something like that. But anyway, the guy that he was going to partner with, scheduled some sort of dinner and said, "Bring your wife." He didn't take his wife to the dinner, and the guy didn't partner with him, and he wasn't able to merge and become bigger than what he was. You understand? They don't want no single old nigga running around the barn still trying to bang all the young heifers. They want you locked in, focused. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm no life coach, no relationship coach, no nothing like that. But if I had that type of coin and I wasn't involved or anything like that, I would have a steady 2 or 3 if I'm not going to settle down with one and rock with them. Most likely 2, 3, right? But running around here slinging meat to all these young 19, 20-year-olds, that ain't it, Unc. That ain't it. But I'm not here to shame rape victims, sexual assault victims, whatever. Because there is perhaps, a person can, I'm thinking a woman can still be raped even though you're sexually active with her, even though you're in a consensual sexual relationship with her. And it seems there was really some kinky shit. It's BDSM. Not even sure what that means. But it's some freaky. It's another level. Everybody's got their quirks and stuff like that. But I'm not trying to shame nobody. But it does it still sounds like a shakedown, sure. But yeah, it's obvious that he was being recorded. He didn't pick that up. It's OnlyFans model, not even nobody high, just a regular Jane Doe, just a regular broad. No yams. Cautionary tale, man. Settle down. And if you don't want to settle down, get you about a good 2 or 3 and rock with them. If you can. If you can pull that off. So I'm curious to see who's going to walk away from him. Because ESPN can't have, somebody on the airwaves who's, just the allegation itself, just the lawsuit out there itself. Rape. It's not good for the brand. So he had to go. But I'm curious. I see him still on his podcast. Both of them. Both clubshayshay and Nightcap, at least for now. I'm not necessarily sure if he ended up inking that $100 million deal. So yeah. Hate to see brothers go out like that, but who knows? Maybe in the end, who knows? That's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm not gonna kick him while he's down. What I will say is it's not a good look, fam. It's not a good look. And I would say stay away from them white women, but let's not front and act like sisters don't see a lick or a mark when they see one too. Because he was in unfamiliar waters. He was getting got and didn't have a clue. You know? Yeah, man. Yeah. And that's all I gotta say about that, man. I'm gonna go ahead and let that rock. Word. Yo, so y'all been watching the playoffs, man? Pretty decent, pretty decent. Knicks and Pistons. Knicks up 3 games. Pistons won. Knicks is probably gonna close that out. They probably gonna close that out. Once a team goes down 3, for the most part, it's a wrap. Celtics, Magic. Celtics up 3. Magic 1. Probably gonna close it out as soon as possible. Miami just got sent home last night. Cavs got rid of them. So they play. I'm not sure. I think they play the winner of the Bucks Pacers series. The Bucks are down 3 games, so they're on their way out of there. Damian Lillard. Shout out to Damian Lillard. Dame Dollar. Wish him well. Torn ACL in the last game. They was probably going to lose it, but that's beside the point. You hate to see a player go out like that, so he's probably going to be out a decent portion of next season. Same thing for Kyrie Irving for the Dallas Mavericks. He's going to be out most of next season. They say January, but I don't know. They might just be doing that just to get a fan some hope. It's a pretty serious injury, man. So Damian Lillard is out of there, which means the Bucks are going to be out of there. Which that was going to happen regardless. So I think Cleveland plays the Pacers next, and Boston plays the winner of the Knicks and Pistons series. And I hope it's the Knicks. I hope we play the Knicks, and most likely we are. I want to see that. And then it'll be most likely, I'm pretty sure, it'll be the Cavs and the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. Out west, I want to say Golden State is up 3 games against Houston. Hold on. Yeah. Yep. So that series is 3-1. The Rockets, for the most part, ain't going to make it out. No team being down 3 games has ever come back and won a series. Well, it's one time with LeBron James that I saw, but we could say it's because Draymond Green got suspended, but who's to say? The world will never know. That's the only time I've seen that happen. All right. So the Warriors, for the most part, are going to win that series over the Rockets. The Timberwolves and the Lakers. The Lakers are down 3 games. It's a wrap for the Lakers. Again, we only seen one. Well, hold on. That one team that did make it from a 3-1 deficit, LeBron James was on that team. So is it possible? Hell no. Get the fuck out of here. Hell no. Okay? This ain't young LeBron no more. Okay? Hey, whoa. I like LeBron too, man. I like him too. And he is in great shape. But I told y'all before, 40 is 40. You know what I mean? 40 is 40. No, I do not. And if they do, if the Lakers do make it out this series alive, then I would be proven wrong. I'd be proven wrong. I'm going to have to be proven wrong. I don't see the Lakers coming out this series alive. Okay? I got the Timberwolves beating the Lakers. Right? Hold on real quick. Hold on. Denver series. All right, so the Clippers and the Nuggets are tied 2-2. So I really don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't know what's going to happen. Right? OKC sent the Grizzlies home. Another injury with Ja Morant. Hope he has a speedy recovery. His isn't as serious. It's not as serious as Kyrie Irving or Damian Lillard's injury. But know what I mean? I wish all them hurt players, I wish them all well, man. It's got to suck to first you got to get whatever surgery you got to get or whatever it is you need to get. Then you have to heal. Then you got to get, physical therapy. And then get cleared for contact. Then it's, I don't know, 1-on-1 and 5-on-5. And you got to work your way back into it. And then just when you've worked yourself back into some shape to be able to play again, there's still levels to being in shape and then being in basketball shape. So that's a lot. So a lot of people always say, man, these players always hurt. I can't stand these players today. They're always getting hurt. I don't think they want to be hurt, man. It's a tedious process trying to work your way back. I'm sure it is. So, yeah. Grizzlies are gone. I think that's all of them. Clips, Denver. Dubs, Rockets. Lakers, Timberwolves, yeah, and then yeah. So that's everybody. And if I forgot anybody, oh well. It'd probably be trash. But yeah, man. And let me just say that Orlando is tougher than I thought. You know what I mean? That team is gonna be a problem in the future. And I think part of the reason why the Celtics are able to do what they're doing with them is because they're not battle tested. They don't have a whole lot of experience. But I tell you one thing, that what's the young kid's name? Pancaro. He's a problem. Give him a few more seasons and put some pieces around him. He's gonna be a problem. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Let me finish this water. Stop playing. So yeah, that's about all I got for NBA news or whatever. NBA news. Word. So before I get out of here, shout out to the Skill Youth Chess Club. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the parents. Shout out to the tribe, man. Shout out to my group. Shout out to my family. Shout out to all my loved ones. How about that, man? I just want to take this time and just, man, once again, send out some good energy to everybody. You know what I mean? And a spirit and or an energy, if you will, of abundance, an energy of gratefulness. Y'all take that, man. Thank you for your likes, subs, and shares. Just got a couple more followers, man. I salute y'all for tapping into some of the best content out there. I'm like a hidden gem. You know what I mean? I'm a hidden gem. So I welcome you. Hope you stick around. Hope you dig my brand of podcasting. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, man. That's about all I got. Thank you for your likes, subs, and shares. Thank you for listening to me babble. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, y'all stay up. Hope you're well. If you're not, get well. Check on your people. There's people dealing with things that we don't know nothing about, man. Check on them. Just check on them. Send them a text. Tell them how you feel about them. Express that. Well, it's too late, man. Yeah, man. Y'all stay up. And until next time, this has been real. Until next time, I'm Nagar Rashidi. This is Hoodies, man. Peace. Hey. This is Hoodies.